Okay, so start off right there, yeah. You are currently waking up from some form of, we'll call it a power nap. So you're just sitting up against a rock. You've been within the Split Pass woods for quite some time now. The actual passage of time to you is otherwise a bit hazy. You don't tend to keep track of days or time, really. Sun comes up, sun goes down, next day comes, so on and so forth. But within your time within these woods, you have come to recognize people. Maybe not necessarily always remembering names, but faces, for sure. You've seen people coming and going. You've had monsters try to intrude. And you've made friends with even some of the animals that you can speak to. But for the most part, your existence here has been pretty neutral. But you just woke up to the sound of some rustling within the woods. It doesn't sound particularly violent, but you do hear stuff coming up, like rustling through the bushes in the distance.
What's there?
Perfect. And as you do that, a little badger peeks his head through the bushes and is looking at you.
Friend.
And he's like, hey, buddy, it's me. It's Frederick.
Frederick?
Yep.
Frederick.
So he comes scurrying out of the bush and gets up. He, scurries up you and gets up onto your shoulder.
Oh, buddy.
I love
Being very
this.
friendly with it.
Uh-huh. He's like, hey, buddy, how you doing?
Just slept. Morning.
Oh, good. Yeah, so, I was wondering, and he's like tapping on you with his little, with his little, claws, kind of, his little honey badger looking thing. And he's like, wonder if you can help me with something. You see, we had a bit of a tussle over at the den. I think it might have been a bear.
Danger.
Yeah, big old brown, kind of mean looking dude.
Help.
Please.
It's gonna be very short sentences.
Yep, 100%. He just kind of uses his arm and points in the direction. Go that way.
Following.
As you start clambering your way through the woods, you pass by a tree, and in that tree is a cat, a little black cat, just kind of watching you guys go by. Roll me a perception.
Alrighty, first roll. Perception.
Perception.
Here we go. Nice.
All right. You didn't
Good
see this
start.
cat whatsoever, but
Nothing here.
it actually kind of blends in a little bit with it because of, shading and lighting and whatnot. So you don't see nothing, and you start walking by, and Frederick's just like, pussy?
Sorry, repeat that. What name?
Is it pussy?
Okay.
And then the cat's like, hey now, no need to be mean. He's like, what? That's what you are. And now you hear the cat talking. You don't even have to look at it. The cat just jumps onto your other shoulder.
Pussy.
Jesus Christ.
Hi.
Tap.
Squish it.
Oh God. And
No.
the cat kind of does a thing where it's it lets you pet it, but it's ears are going to the side. It's a little reluctant. It's like,
Friend.
hello, Rock. And then the badger goes, Toma,
Rock.
what are you doing away from the Split Pass village? He's like, I'm adventuring. What do you mean?
They're adventuring. Wait, are they not supposed to be here? Or
It's a cat. Kind of just does what it wants.
but they
or-
belong to the village.
They belong to someone in the village, yeah.
What did you find?
The cat's like, well, I saw the bear that attacked your den, Frederick, so, And that's when Frederick's like, so it was a bear!
Help.
Remembering he has to go there.
Uh-huh. Right? It's like, oh, right, that's what I was doing. And then Frederick goes, okay, well, onward, I suppose. And then
Starts walking.
Yep, Toma the cat actually jumps off and kind of like starts jumping through the trees instead of staying on you. And at this point, you actually do come across Frederick's den, and it's been pretty much torn to shreds.
Disaster. Not good.
Frederick's just like, oh, you're a simple man. I like you.
Very simple.
But he jumps down and he kind of starts sniffing around. I'd like you to roll me an investigation.
Investigate, not my strong suit. Oh, -2, still 11.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Okay, so as he's sniffing around, you actually do discern some bear tracks kind of leading off into the I'd say right now you're facing like east. These start going north, so it went off to the side of you now.
Okay. Should I? Well, not should I. I will follow it.
Okay, let me take a drink.
Yeah, I should drink a lot more too with that voice.
I know, right? I was about to say you're gonna stress that one for sure. So you start following the footsteps, and the cat actually is kind of following on the trees. And the cat, he looks down. He's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, there actually are some tracks there." And then Frederick's still sniffing his den. He's like, "Huh, what?" And then starts sniffing again. And there's like, "Oh, tracks." Then starts following.
I'm assuming my golem cannot smell.
I'd say no.
Okay, just trust them.
Yeah.
Following.
So you're following the tracks by visual, and the badger is like sniffing them and kind of like staying in front of you as he's like surveying. The cat is also staying above you, looking around and occasionally just doing the little claw scratchy thing.
We're gonna have marks forever. It's stone. It doesn't regenerate.
Exactly.
Can I, as we get closer, can I make sure that there's no weird noises or anything like around us? Or something?
So you're looking around and you are able to effectively communicate that you're not hearing or seeing anything. And
Seems calm.
so Frederick's like, yeah, I don't know how long ago it was. I wasn't home, so I didn't see it happen. And that's when Tom was like, "Oh, of course you went home. What were you doing? Were you hunting for berries, or I don't know, what do you badgers do?" And it's like, "Sure, berries." Anyway,
Berries. Good.
Even if he does not eat berries at all.
I'd say why not?
I mean, you know what? Maybe just.
Yeah, just
On my art, I don't think I even have a full mouth. I'm not sure.
we could also just say that it blends so well that you wouldn't be able to tell until he speaks. All right.
Wait, does the mouth, does it move, or is just like a straight face and you just hear a sound? It's hard to tell because on the art it's really hard to.
I'm indifferent. I could go either way on that. What do you feel like?
I feel like I prefer the mouth not moving.
Okay.
It's like it resonates from it or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh that. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, we'll go with that then.
Okay.
That's why I like doing this stuff. Little details like that it irons that stuff out that we didn't even think about until we started.
You know, without the berries, we would not be here.
Exactly. It's all the berries' fault. So
Berries good.
you find yourself on the actual path now that goes from Verilium to Split Pass. So you're actually on the dirt road here now. And from here, you actually do... Here, so I can actually load the map now. And I don't even need to hide that because it comes out and it's like... There in fact is a brown bear.
How big is this?
It's a pretty big fucking bear. Like, it's bigger than any bear you've ever seen. And you've seen some pretty big bears.
I'm pretty big too, so that has to be big.
That is big.
Okay.
And Frederick and Tomy, it came out of the woods relatively quickly and definitely caught them off guard.
And what about me? Am I surprised?
You're surprised, but not to the extent that it would, like, stop you in any way.
Careful.
And at this point, this is when like Frederick looks at it and he can see like some of the stuff from his den still kind of in the teeth.
Do I have the time to react and move ahead of them? Can I?
Nope. Roll initiative.
Oi, oi, oi. Okay. Okay. Initiative.
Okay.
7.
7. Oh hell yeah. Okay. I need actually. 1 sec.
That's a big bear. Woo!
That's a big bear. Okay. Let me roll, because they're the despite their size, they are involved here. So he rolled a 3. Slow badger. Oh, now, okay. Cat rolled a 19.
Wow. I mean, that makes sense for a cat.
Yeah, and bear rolled a 12.
Do a bear roll.
And it's just, bear just rolls over. All right. So
Look at those
Toma,
pictures at the top.
Toma's actually gonna be like, I'm pretty sure the size difference is something that I don't really want to deal with. So he actually comes over here, jumps up into the trees. He's like, I'm not meowsing with that. So he's gonna sit up there and meow. The bear is actually going to. He doesn't even. The badger's so small compared to the bear that he doesn't even really see him.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. So he's actually gonna move over here and almost step on Frederick. I'm gonna make Frederick try to roll to dodge this.
Oh god.
Okay, Frederick rolled a 19. So that's good. And the bear rolled a 3. So Frederick is able to actually pivot. However, this thing comes right at you and tries to hit you.
Dude, just the icons, it looks like it's about to eat me.
I know, right?
Do I gotta roll something?
No, I'm gonna roll against. So there, I should.
Woo!
You just
That
rolled
hits.
a nat 20.
Yep. Yeah, that hits.
That's wild.
Alright, so GG. Good campaign, that was fun. Dead. Imagine.
Okay, so
Wait, is that physical damage?
yes, are you just straight resistant to that?
Maybe? I know the rage thingy does.
Only when you're raging.
Yeah, only I'm not raging yet.
Okay. How much health do you have now? Oh, it's 38 now. Okay. Yeah, wrong thing.
If you do more than 38, I'll be very surprised.
Right. Okay, it didn't do the crit damage like it's supposed to. Do I need to actually? Can I not right-click that? No, I guess not. Okay, so the second, I just rolled twice to crit it.
Mhm.
It doesn't take the bonus damage on the second hit though. So 7 plus 5, which is 12, plus 3. So you took 15 damage from that one.
That's still a lot.
That's still
it got
a lot
pretty
of
good
damage
teeth.
from a single.
Woo! Okay, well I'm in danger.
All right. However, it is your turn.
Okay, I am going to rage. Obviously, I saw my 2 other friends. They are not, right next to the bear, but I want to protect them. I'm gonna be like
Protection.
just full protector mode, and you'll see between all of my little rocks that form my body, which is, by the way, rocks and moss. Between each of them, a little bit of we'll say light blue light. A little, it goes from a very dull green to a very bright blue.
Okay.
As I rage, it's Arcana based. And how do I just click on it in D&D Beyond, right?
Yeah, you just click one of the squares, and when you roll your attacks, I'll just add the extra +2.
There we go. Okay. And I am going to try to punch that bear in the face. I don't have to move, it's right next to me.
It is right next to you.
Okay, so this 16 plus 5.
Oh, that hits pretty good.
Let me see. Do I just
Yeah, you just
click
click on
once
the
on
damage.
slashing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 14.
So that +2. So you did 16 to this bear. All right. Let me take that damage. So you hit this bear pretty goddamn hard, and you put a massive gash right in its shoulder. Yes. And it goes like down pretty hard too. This actually took the bear down a notch, and it's having a hard time walking already.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big bear, but it's still just a bear compared to you.
Want to make sure I have 1 attack per turn, and that's it, right?
And you still have your bonus action. Is raging a bonus action, or is it...
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So I did the bonus first then.
Okay.
And then I don't want to move. I'm just gonna stay there, intimidating the bear, just like,
No attacking friends.
All right. So now it's Frederick's turn. Frederick is actually gonna run over and try to bite its leg.
good job, Frederick.
I'm just gonna roll this because he doesn't have any bonuses, and he rolled a 3. He kind of just nibbles on it, not doing real well.
Good
The
try.
bear, and he nibbles on it so poorly that the bear didn't even realize he's doing it. And Frederick's over here like, I got you, you bastard. Completely confident in his ability.
Yes, yeah.
And not realizing that it's failing, he's still just like... And,
Very cartoony.
Yep. Toma's just over here like, I don't know about that one, Frederick. You're not doing too good. Meow.
Just being a cat.
Yep. And it is now the bear's turn. The cat did nothing. It's a cat.
That's valid.
And at this point,
I got this.
So the bear is going to take a swipe at you with its claw. However, it will be with disadvantage because of the blow you just did to it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that hits, does it? So he swipes at you and it goes, and then it tries to run away. So roll your hit for opportunity attack.
Is it just a regular attack again?
Yeah, you just roll a regular attack.
There we go. 10 plus 5.
That hits.
Oh shit! Okay, again. Here we go. But now I'm raging. Is that count? Does that count?
Yeah. So the hit doesn't change; it's the damage that changes. But yeah,
Right. But what I mean is, when I have an opportunity attack, does rage count for these?
Yeah, it still applies. It still
Okay.
applies. So the rage won't end until your actual turn rolls around.
Uh huh.
And so an opportunity attack will still be provoked with rage on as well. But however, it starts to turn around and you slam your axe right down into its spine and kill it. All right.
As I do that, because I have a great axe. No, never mind. I'll keep that for later. It's fine.
You want to keep it lit? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you killed this bear. Frederick kind of like still gnawing on its leg, and as realizing it fell over now, he lets go. He's like, oh. Yeah, gotcha, you bastard. Anyway.
Good job.
So it comes over and starts sniffing it, and he's like, yep, this is definitely the one that got it. It's got the same scent. And he's like, so... And then at this point, he looks over to where the bear came from, like out of the woods, and he sees like scuffle marks over by the tree that it came from. I want you to roll me an investigation.
Oh, not bad.
Okay, that's actually pretty solid. So you actually managed, even from like where you're standing because of that roll, you can see that the bear it seems like it was running from something. Like the way it trampled through the woods instead of like just traversing it like it would. It trampled through the bushes and stuff like that. When it came out, it was already aggressive and coming at you, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the cat is up there like, meow. Oh, wow, that's weird. And at this point, you actually hear more noises coming from the woods. What do you do?
Do I see anything, first of all, with the sounds?
No. And it doesn't sound as big, first of all. Like, it's definitely not like a bear. It sounds a little bit smaller for sure. But beyond that, you can't determine size.
Am I intelligent enough to determine that maybe the bear was perhaps running away from that?
Yeah, definitely.
I smell danger. Okay. But I'm still in protector mode. I don't want my friends to be in any type of danger. I'm going to start walking towards that direction.
Okay. You now notice that actually roll me a perception.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, actually no, this one needs a roll.
There we
Oh,
go.
that's good. Okay, so you definitely notice that the sounds that are coming from the direction, they're not moving quickly. It's moving kind of slow. Almost in it's like it almost disturbs you even a little bit. How slow it's moving. Why was the bear running from something that's clearly not moving in a way that's aggressive?
Who's there?
Upon gesturing towards it, the movement stops.
I'm gonna keep walking forward.
Okay.
Is it this direction?
It would be here. I can use my pointer. It was actually came from roughly this
there
direction.
we go. Right there.
So you were very close. And as gesturing towards it and walking towards it, the movement stops a little bit. You can still kind of feel the presence there, though. So whatever it is clearly stopped. It's just waiting to see what you do.
My giant hand is gonna try to reach to grab if there's something in there. But gently.
Gently, okay. As you do that, Tomo yells at you to stop.
Why?
And at this point, Tomo's like, I don't know what that is, but get away from it.
I would, without looking anywhere else, still looking at that direction, just walk backwards a few steps and wait. Does anything happen?
Roll me a survival check.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Rolling.
Rolling. All right. So you back up, and at this point, you actually look where the rustling was coming from, and on the ground, you see really weird claw marks in the dirt in front of it, like it backed up into it instead of coming at the bear. Almost like it's almost like trying to hide, but whatever it was left marks anyway. And you've been in these woods for a while. You've seen all manner of animal marks and whatnot. You've never seen these before.
Oh, it's new. Okay. And I still cannot determine what was there.
Nope. But as you start to try and like investigate in any way, shape, or form, it actually comes running out of the bushes at you, and what you see is this thing.
Okay, I try to grab it.
Alright, so this thing is roughly humanoid size.
Okay.
You've never seen one of these before, ever. Like, this is weird. And as you try to grab it, I want you to roll me a strength check.
Strength check. Oh, that's my forte. Let's see. Oh.
Okay, I'm rolling against it, so hold on. Oh, you rolled a 19.
That thing is strong.
Yeah, so it gets away from your grip, and hold on. I guess I need to. You are now in combat with this thing.
Okay.
Wow,
It looks so friendly. Look at the smile. Okay.
Okay. And Frederick's over here like, what the fiuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
And Tomo's just like, be careful, Mr. Rock.
Not friend.
Not friend, meow, no. Alright, you start.
Oh. Let me see. I'm not raging anymore, right?
No.
I still fear for my friends. I'm gonna rage again as a bonus action to start. Same thing happened.
Okay.
Glowy everywhere.
All the glowiness.
Yep, all the glowiness. Now, I tried to grab it and it did not work. I'm not gonna try again. I'm just gonna try to, like, shoulder tackle it. Like,
We'll say shove, so shove.
yeah, shove.
Okay, let me check how shove works
Do I just
again.
click on something to do that?
So the target must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw. It chooses which. Or you either push it 5 feet away to cause it to have the prone condition. So by doing this, you can knock it prone. The DC for the saving throw equals 8 plus your strength modifier and proficiency bonus. So it has to beat 11, 12, 13. So it has to be at 13.
Okay.
And if it fails, it's going to get knocked prone and shoved 5 feet back further than what it was. Also, I'm going to put it closer because that's where it would have been. And it rolled a 6.
Yeah!
So you pushed it back and knocked it prone. It's on it. The way it's laying on its back, its legs and arms are up, almost like playing possum, but it's flailing around like it's stuck on its back.
Yeah, like a turtle.
Basically, yeah. However, it's a little more menacing than a turtle, but yeah, you know.
Right.
Same concept.
So, I already raged. I did my move. I'm gonna just walk forward slowly.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Frederick's gonna kind of like roll over here. He's keeping his distance to kind of look at it, and he's like, "You got this, big guy?"
Easy.
Okay. You know, let me know if you need me to bite some ankles or something.
Hide.
Okay. So he runs over here and hides by the tree. Cat actually jumps between the branches of these trees and gets up in this one. And he starts clawing at one of the smaller branches hanging above it.
Okay.
Alright, so now it's this thing's turn. It actually stays prone and tries to hit you.
Okay.
Alright. So it's just going to do a claw attack, which it has to roll a disadvantage.
So mechanic-wise, if I did not move forward, it could not have attacked me?
Not with its melee.
Okay.
However, it not only did it roll disadvantage, it rolled a nat 1.
Hey!
So it flails its claws at you and smacks its leg against you, and you can feel it like give. Like that hurt it. Good God. Let me see something real quick. What do you have? Okay. So you have Jesus. Defenses against poison, disease, magical sleep. Interesting. Alright. But yeah, that's pretty much all it could do at the moment since you knocked it prone. So it's your turn.
I'm gonna take my great axe and very simply hold it up in the air and whoa! Right on it.
Since it's prone, roll with advantage.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's see. That's a nat 20.
Holy shit. Roll your damage. And since you rolled that 20, the damage should automatically crit. I think
Okay.
if it doesn't, you can right click it and roll crit damage.
Crit. Yeah, it's already checked.
Okay, then yeah, good.
There we go. Boom, boom.
God damn! Alright, so you bring the axe down on this thing and hit it. And it does, you can tell that it left and good impact, but that felt like you hit it harder than you hit the bear, and it doesn't seem like it did as much.
Oh. Okay. Do I have anything else? That was my action.
That was your
So,
action, yeah.
Can I try to hold it against the ground, just like in place, as a bonus action? Can I do that, or it's?
I'll
just
let
an
you
action?
try. Roll me a
Okay.
strength check. This one will be normal, even though you're raging, since it's a bonus action.
Right. Strength check. Oh, damn.
Holy shit!
Rolling.
Yeah, I don't even need to look at his bonuses. He lost that.
And I'm simply gonna say,
Why you here?
The only response it gives you is like a screech. And it's
That
just
will
like
be-
flailing, trying to get out of this grip.
that'll be here. That'll be all I have to do for this run. I cannot do anything else.
Okay. And so now it's Frederick's turn. He, still hiding, has actually climbed up this tree now. And he's looking around.
My monkey friends are all in trees.
The trees are good places to hide, except for when it's bears. But the bear's dead, so.
It's true.
But he's looking around, and he actually... I'm going to roll a perception for him before... Okay, yeah. So he actually looked towards where Toma is, and Toma's just clawing at that branch still. And he sees more rustling coming from the woods behind Toma, and there's a lot more of it.
Oh no.
And so he yells out, Rock, Toma, I think we should probably get out of here, or at least hurry up with what you're doing.
Run.
Question mark.
Yeah, and Toma looks over where the rustlings come from. It's still a good distance away, but it's enough to be noticeable.
Okay, it's not my turn yet, so I cannot do
All right,
anything.
so Toma starts scratching faster.
Panic.
At this point, this thing is going to try to get off of your grip.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to roll me another strength check.
Strength check. Boom.
Okay, so you manage to keep it down, so it's still in its prone position. However, this time it does a thing called rotting gaze at you with its eye.
Oh.
So you need to succeed a DC 12 Constitution throw, saving throw.
Saving throw. Oh, a
Yeah.
con? Dude.
Yep, DC 12
Hell
con.
yes. I got +6. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
The worst! Except one.
All right, so
Thanks.
you take 3d6 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
bad. Okay. I'm alive, but. Yikes.
Oh, I'm gonna refresh. Okay, there we go. God damn, that hurt.
That was a bad one. Ay.
So, that's all it's got. It is now your turn.
Okay, so I know Toma wants to run away. There's danger coming. Frederick is kinda far. Do I know Frederick enough to know if they can jump from there to me? Let's say I hold my hands in the air to just
Yeah, for sure.
okay, just to have them and put them on my shoulders. That's doable.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my hands in the air to sign, to show them that just jump on me, come on, and I'm gonna try to, for now, run as fast as possible over there.
Okay.
Since he was in my hand on the ground, would that still trigger a opportunity?
No, because he's prone.
Cool. So I can run 30 after they jump. Would I have to wait for them to jump on their turn before I run?
In this case, I'd say because you're choosing to actively flee combat, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna say no. But what happens is, so Frederick just gets on you. Toma finishes clawing at that and jumps on the branch to knock it down, and then jumps on. So he springboards off of it onto you. The branch falls and lands on the Nothek, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do really any damage, but it does pin it down and gives you time to run.
Cool. So they're both on me now.
Yep.
Would trying to have them on me would be a action or bonus action?
I'd say bonus action because
Okay.
for what you are and what they are, they don't. You barely even notice that they're on you.
Okay. So at that point, then I'll use my action to attack before I run.
Okay.
So I'll try to attack it another time.
Advantage again as well.
Yeah. Let me see. And am I not raging anymore?
No.
It's been a turn.
It's just
Okay.
a turn. Yeah, it's passed through.
All right. So just a regular one. Do I still have advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll roll.
You
Oh,
just-
it's a 20. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
All right. So Jesus Christ. Jesus
All right.
Christ.
Let's go. Crit, roll, bam. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit! All right. You cut a large chunk of this thing off of it. It's still alive, but it's essentially incapacitated.
How? God, okay. Dude. That thing is now very scary if there's more of it. Okay.
So at this point, I'm assuming you run then, yeah?
So 30, that's 1, 2, and 3.
That's enough to exit the combat completely.
Okay.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, you get away from this thing. Just
I
realized
leave
wasn't
it there,
sharing the
hopefully
screen,
almost
but,
half
oh well.
dead.
There, I didn't have the screen open on OBS, but thankfully the combat was all taking place within the same square, so there wasn't really a whole lot of movement going on. All right, but for funny's sake, you put that thing at 1 HP with that hit.
Ah, so close.
That's why I was like, oh.
I would have stayed and killed it, but when you said there's more, it hurt me really bad. So I gotta go.
That thing was not nice to you at all. All right, so you managed to run away and get out of sight of this thing, and you start running towards Split Pass Village to pretty much at this point it's like returning the cat.
Yeah, that was very scary. Do I get while I walk my way there, can I have a short rest? How does it work?
I'd say no, since you're actively walking.
All right.
All right. Where's your player token? There it is. All right, so you're coming in from the south side of this area.
Question. Is I know that there's like a relationship between the villagers and me. They know of me and whatnot. Do I feel in danger when I'm here?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
All right. So you get here, and I don't have their tokens here on this one. So, but the badger is just like, okay, well, thank you, big guy, and he gives you a little like friendly claw. Appreciate your help, and he kind of just scurries off into the woods back the way. And
Be safe.
Thank you. You too. And then the cat's just like, ow. The cat's just like, well, meow.
Friend, be safe.
You
Same
too,
thing to the cat.
You too, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and go home. And he makes his way towards the one marked as the straight house.
Okay. Yeah. Right here.
And at this point, some the villagers were coming out of the stables with their horses and whatnot. And upon you standing there, they go, ah! Oh. Ah.
Friend.
Yeah, sorry, just didn't expect to see you there, big guy.
They're always scared of me. Okay. Do I know, like, closer about anyone in the village, or am I just someone?
The only people that you really know are the people who live in this one, the straight house. You know, a man and his wife, John and Maria.
In that case, since I'm here, I'm gonna check on them.
Okay.
Just walk a little bit over here, see what they're doing.
And as you walk up to the house, John, he's kind of an older dude, like up in his 50s. He opens the door and he's just like, how you doing there, big guy?
Tired. Was fighting.
Oh no, what were you fighting this time? More bears, kobolds, something?
Big eye.
He's perplexed. He's like, big eye?
Screeching.
He's just genuinely confused. He's like, 1 second. He goes back into the side. He's like, Maria? You don't really hear what they're saying, but you can hear them talking a little bit in there. And I want you to roll me a perception real quick.
Perception.
Oh,
Almost one.
I just realized the dice isn't on the screen. I need to refresh the page.
Do I know them enough so like I feel comfortable walking inside, or oh wait, I'm maybe too tall for that door.
You can't fit through the door.
Oh shit! I'm gonna stay there.
You can kind of kneel down and peek in, though.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just like stay there. And
they look over
watch.
and you're just sitting there like, hello.
Are they like? Are we in? Let's say, are we friendly, or or am I just comfortable with them, or like?
I'd say with these people in particular, you're pretty friendly.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just.
The rest are just more comfortable.
All right.
So they come back out and they're like, he did like a very, very crude drawing of what you just described. He didn't get the claws right. He didn't really get like the body right. But big eye and screechy mouth actually looked pretty good. He was like, something kind of like this.
Close. Stick.
being very vague about
Yeah,
it. Cannot explain at all what he saw.
He's like, okay, you're doing great, big guy. And then he gives the he gives the drawing to Maria, and he basically just gestures to go and tell the mayor, basically. This one is like, did you see any more things like that out there?
Think. Heard. More.
A herd of them. Or are you saying you heard more?
Yes.
Okay, the second one.
It's gonna be very funny.
This is going to be real interesting when other players start having to talk to you. I can't wait.
They have to understand. Not my problem.
It's not your problem. It's just how he talks. It's like, okay. And at this point, Toma kind of like comes up and like brushes against his leg and is like, meow.
Friend.
He looks down, right. And Toma is just, he's like, you know, he can't hear me, right? To him, all he hears is meow, meow, meow.
But I can.
Yep. You hear him
But-
speaking as if he's speaking common.
If I assumed yes, but when I speak, they understand me as well.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
So the way I would describe it is animals have a tendency to understand human languages in this case. So even if you're speaking common, they still hear you as speaking common. But
Right.
you hear their animal language as them speaking common. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah. He's just over here like, hilariously, the cat's like, funny enough, you could translate for me. But I like it when he doesn't know what I'm thinking. And then he goes the other way.
As the cat is leaving, I'll say
Difficult.
it would be really hard.
Oh, that's really
But
funny.
I mean, I could in a very limited way.
To a very limited capacity, it's possible.
Yeah.
And then you notice that the cat went by a food bowl that's empty, and the cat looks over and you kind of pause and goes, food!
Berries.
The guy's like, huh? Berries?
That's the only food he's heard of today. So
His memory is limited to one day.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, vaguely. Big things,
Vaguely,
maybe
yeah.
not, but
Big things, not so much, but like things like that, yeah, for sure. And then he looks over at the cat and he's like, feed the cat berries?
look at the cat. Just say
Berries.
again? Question mark.
Cat goes, yeah, berries.
Yes.
And then the dude looks over at the cat and he's like, I don't know if I trust you anymore, cat. Anyway.
I also don't know. Disclaimer: if berries are good for cats, maybe don't. I don't know. I have no idea, but...
we do not condone feeding berries
Yeah.
to cats.
Golem doesn't know that. I don't know.
It's a golem. What do you know? What's he know? Anyway, at this point, as you're talking to him, Maria and a few other townspeople are coming down this way to kind of figure out what's going on. They're mostly discussing with each other, and they look at you and they're like, ah. And then she's like, yeah, one word at a time. She knows enough to know that that's how you are.
Trying.
Okay, good enough for me. So she's just basically explaining more or less what he described, and she says, this, but skinnier, more clawy.
Yes.
Do I remember? Like, I'm gonna ask you. Do I remember more about the creature, or is that it?
Particularly that it used a like a beam at you.
Okay. From the eye, I'm assuming.
From eye. Beam.
At this point, everyone's looking at you like it shot at you from its eye.
Yes.
Okay, one sec. And at this point, the smithy of the village actually comes and kind of like gives you a once order. He's like, can I take a look at you real quick.
Consent.
Nodding very slowly.
Okay, good. So he's kind of looking at you for like what seems to be any kind of wound, because for you to be wounded is unusual to them.
Okay. How does the wound show on a rock person?
I would say in this case you would actually have chips and stuff in you.
Okay.
In this case, as with you being the way that you are, though, you actually could technically regenerate. It would just be slow though.
Okay, like arcane
Yeah,
healing.
Kind of, yeah. Because you are a natural thing, so therefore, in some way, it does regenerate, even if it's slow.
Right, so I'm just gonna say...
Missing pieces.
He's looking at you like, yeah, that's not good for you, that's for sure. And he's looking at it, and he's like... He's kind of like looking at the wounds themselves to see if it was, like, physical or whatever. From what he can tell, some of it was physical, and that was because of the bear. And the rest of it seems almost like a weird looking scorch marks
from the beam.
He's like, this was a bite, and he's like going over the bear marks, and he's like, this from the beam,
pointing at the bite,
Bear.
and pointing at the scorch.
Beam.
Okay. At this point, they all they all gather up, and they're like, they take that drawing, and they actually fold it up into an envelope, and they say that they're going to deliver this to the court wizard in Cathardus.
They said that?
Yeah. And you heard all of it. They're openly speaking.
I deliver.
They're like, are you fast?
I don't think he knows how to answer that.
Yes.
He thinks maybe. Compared to a lot of other creatures in the forest, I mean, he has very big and long legs. So I guess it looks, yeah. He would compare himself to other smaller stuff, so probably.
Yes.
Very fast.
They're like, would Cathardus be okay with him walking around in the city, though? I mean, we know of him, do they?
More cats.
Because cat are this.
And they're just kind of like, probably?
Friends.
And they're like, 1 second. And then they're looking around, it's like, do we have anybody besides this golem to deliver the message?
That's fair. That's fair.
And everyone else is just kind of like, well, not really. No, nobody wants to leave.
Since I've been in nature for so long, do I even know where Cathardus is?
I would say, yeah. Okay. It's a pretty big city. And
but it's far.
It's definitely far. It's far in the sense that, like, for you to walk there, you know, it would definitely be a long walk, and horseback would be faster for sure. But the way they're describing the situation right now is anybody that could ride the horses out there all the way quickly and efficiently are not here at the moment.
So I could say,
I know how. Reach.
And they're actually kind of like, you know what? Weirdly enough, this isn't the worst idea I've ever heard. And on top of that, any dangers would be less dangerous to him compared to us.
But heal first.
That is reasonable. Okay. So they actually come over to where we'll say it's over here. They clear this campground out area for you, and they kind of just set it up for you to be able to go over there and rest.
question. I know I'm rock, but I'm also must. Must. Do I hate fire?
I would say because of the rock part, not as much, but In this case, since you're a mixture of the two, I would say it wouldn't go either or in direction. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be worse or better for you. It would be pretty neutral, like it would be to most people.
Okay.
So you definitely don't want to catch on fire, but it's not the end of the world if you do.
Okay. I don't need any of what's around the fire here. I'm just gonna sit and look like I'm going idle. Can we say that my eyes? It goes like it's usually a dull green. It's just like there's no more color. It's
Right,
just
like
black.
kind of like they just turned off, essentially, almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, the color just kind of like fades out into black as he falls asleep, and he just sits there like.
Yeah, just like turns off like a robot almost. Without the sound.
Right, of course. No, he makes the sound himself. And then falls asleep. Alright, so go ahead and apply a long rest.
Hell yes. There we go.
Alright. So as you're sleeping, you actually do have kind of a dream. It's very simple and to the point, and honestly, details of it are strange at the best. But you find yourself sitting in the forest where you originally woke. However, now it is nighttime, and around you, almost in like a circular pattern, however, you were leaning, let's say you were leaning against a rock, so like a half circle. You see carved into the ground symbols of runes and stuff like that. And it's surrounding you. What do you do?
Do I feel something?
Not at the moment.
Can I try to touch it?
Go ahead. I want you to roll me. Let me see what would be appropriate for this. Actually, yeah, roll me an Arcana. Okay.
In the middle?
Very central for sure. So you reach down to touch these runes, and as you do, a couple of them light up, and they light up blue, kind of like how you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a voice in the distance, and you hear it say, "Ambitions." That's the only word you heard.
Is the voice low like mine, or is it like a different type?
It sounded human.
Human.
Mm-hmm.
Ambition.
Talking.
And as you're looking around, you realize that where the voice didn't have a discernible direction. It sounded like it came either from all around you or nowhere at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And if I keep holding or touching the runes, do I hear more? Does it stop?
So you kind of start dragging your hand across the runes,
Uh-huh.
and they do start glowing as your hand passes over them.
Oh, okay.
Roll me another Arcana.
Oof.
This time you hear a voice, but it's almost distorted. And you hear like a full sentence being spoken, but the only word you are actually able to discern is the word overambitious.
So is it like text to speech? If I do like it reads the whole thing?
Basically,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I guess would he understand that?
I would say he might understand what the word means, but it's definitely not understanding what's going on here.
Right. He wouldn't know what to do with that.
Interesting.
So I'd say at this point, your hand has gone over about 30% of the runes that are there.
He's gonna try to complete it.
Okay. So at this point, let's just say you go drag your hand across the whole thing. You know, do it in one fell swoop. I want you to roll me 2 more Arcana checks.
Eventually, we'll get it.
We'll see what happens. It's because each roll is for a segment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. So as you pass your hand over, this time you hear a complete sentence. You hear that same voice that you originally heard, and you hear him say, "Mastering the secrets of this universe." Yep. You're like, oh, what the fuck?
Universe. Secrets.
While he doesn't understand that, he's gonna try to try to memorize those words for later.
Okay. And this, I would say in this case, actually, you know what? I will just have you roll for history later when that comes up.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, that's fair.
I'm like, actually, that feels more appropriate now that I think
Yep.
about it. So, as you pass your hands over the last little bit of it, you hear 3 words, but only one word comes through, and that word is Zorandos.
Okay, I have a vague understanding of the gods. Very vague. Do I even know what that means?
At this point, you have never heard the name Zorandos ever.
All right, so no.
Interesting.
Again, doesn't understand. But we'll try to make a note of it. But
Okay.
with the
So,
7 intelligence.
as you finish drawing your hand over, the whole thing lights up. And this time you hear, it's an indistinct voice. It's not the same one. And it almost sounds like the same tone of voice repeating. And the only thing it is saying is the names of each of the gods that you do know.
Oh, I do know them.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you know the names of all the gods. But Zorandos, you've never heard that name before. But otherwise, you have heard of Archaea, Samuro, Ivarok, all the other ones. Those names are just being listed as if they're being read to you.
Gods.
Can I roll to try to figure out or understand that the other name was maybe a god as well?
Roll me history.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's not for that
-2.
same thing. Oh no, it's not
well.
for the same thing, but it is appropriate. In this case, you're not sure. You just know for a fact that these are the names of the gods that people are, essentially work around. So,
Do I believe in one of them? Do I follow a god?
I would say you don't particularly follow any of the gods, but you do believe of their existence. I would say during your time within Split Pass Woods, because you've been there. I don't think we'd said it in the recording yet, because I know we talked about it beforehand. But you have been here for easily about 20 years. So I just wanted to put that out there in the recording so that it's known information.
Cool.
Within that time, you would have definitely seen things like wizards being able to wield the powers of the gods to some degree. You've heard people talk about them, and you know what it would look like otherwise with people using other faculties of these gods, so to speak. And and a big example is you would see paladins often recognize that they are typically associated with Lethian, the god of light.
I would understand that.
Yeah,
okay.
you would definitely understand that. And
Go ahead.
also you would recognize symbols of the gods. So
Okay.
So say someone was with Lethian, they would have that Lethian symbol right there on their armor for sure. And you would know which god that was.
On this thing, do I see any symbols that could be the gods?
On the runes, you see the runes that are they're kind of like you see the symbols of the gods on the runes, and then the runes around them seem to be what's describing them. You don't see anything surrounding the Zorandos one though, just the words.
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm. That one was just describing that word; it wasn't using a symbol for it.
Okay, so still unknown.
Mm-hmm.
With that information, he's gonna think something like
Secrets. Universe. Gods.
and that's it. Because there's not more to do with that information for him.
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah, just memorizing that, because he doesn't have a lot to do other than memorizing that for now. And hopefully he remembers tomorrow.
All right. So, beyond that, if you you try to like walk forward to get out of the Ring of Runes, and you feel it push you back against the rock as if something like forced you back.
Like, to go back to it.
Like it's not letting you leave that circle.
Trapped. How?
Trying to search something on the floor.
Mhm.
Is something holding me?
It doesn't seem like anything is tethering you there. It almost seems more like a cage.
At that point, being what he is, he would probably try to break it.
I want
The
you to
runes.
roll me a strength check and an arcana check.
Both. Okay.
Mhm.
Damn.
That's a good ass strength check, though. So, with all, like maybe not all your might, but you try to take a big punch at this thing, and what initially feels like a wall, you see it start to kind of shatter a little bit, and it seems like a blue light or some kind of invisible wall has been projected in front of you. And as you hit it, you see blue lines, like shatter lines, coming through it. And as you remove your hand, the shatter lines recede back into themselves as if it just healed.
And it's all back in place?
Mm-hmm. However, now that you've done that, you can actually see the barrier.
Oh. Can I interact with that? Can I touch it?
Can I touch it? Sorry.
I mean,
sorry, I'm immature. What do you want me to say?
I'm trying to, like...
But yes, you can actually reach your hand out and just...
He's got a very childlike brain, so, like, he just want to touch
wants to
things
see
he
what's
doesn't
going on.
understand, right?
So you put your hand against it, and when you do that, you actually see it ripple outwards a little bit to the pressure of your hand hitting it. Almost like water rippling a little bit. And as you do that, in the woods, in the darkness, you see a silhouette walking towards you.
Does it look like it's a similar silhouette as the enemy from earlier?
Give me a perception.
Okay.
Okay, so the shape is actually humanoid, and it seems to be wearing some kind of robes with a hood on.
Are you voice?
It doesn't respond to you directly. It does, however, stick its hand out, and its hand comes out of the shadows enough for you to identify the actual hand itself. And the hand has a blue, like, diamond. It's not literally a diamond, but it's a shape of a diamond on its hand, and it looks like it's like imbued onto his hand, like scarring almost. And all he says is the word ambition, and it is the same voice that you heard.
Okay, so I can understand that. Before anything else, I'm gonna confirm again.
Friend.
He
there any
actually
answer?
kind of retracts his hand a little bit, almost hesitantly.
I'm gonna say,
Ambition.
does that do something?
He just kind of stands there. He seems to like react to it to himself, but he doesn't outwardly say anything. And then he looks at you, and vaguely when he looks directly at you, you can see his eyes glowing blue a little bit.
Can I try to walk towards him, or am I still stuck where I am?
You're still stuck, but go ahead and give me another strength and arcana.
Okay, strength and arcana.
Okay.
Oof.
Let's see what the
big
arcana.
oof.
Oh no! So
Not feeling it today.
You walk into the barrier, and you kind of you feel like you just walked into a wall, really, one that you couldn't break.
Stuck. Who are you?
He actually kind of almost confusedly says, "Stuck, stuck," and then you wake up.
So, what was the dream? Just this part, or the whole forest part as well?
Just that part. The whole forest
Okay,
thing actually happened, and you
Okay.
while you were asleep, they actually put the letter around a rope and put it around you, and on it says "Delivered to King Roland at Cathardus."
All right. Excellent.
Dream. Odd. Stuck. Stuck.
Stuck.
Is there anyone near me?
No, it seems that they all kind of like went into their own things. You didn't sleep completely through the night. It's actually still dark, but it is getting to the point where sunrise is coming very shortly.
Okay. Do I understand I'm already on a mission to go to Catharsis?
Yeah, you definitely understand where exactly you need to go.
I'm on my way. Let's go.
All right, so you start to walk towards the path that leads out of Split Pass and starts going towards Catharsis, which this path, since on the main map it looks like it just goes straight through, it doesn't because it's covered by trees. It goes south and then back out. So you start heading south. Actually, I need to cut this out. I don't need that anymore. That was just for the dream. So you start heading south. And as you are heading south, you feel the pull of wind, essentially. It didn't feel like a push. It felt like a pull.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming from the direction you are currently heading.
Does it feel like wind or energy?
Wind. It felt like wind,
Uh-huh.
and then it felt like energy.
Pull. Stuck.
And
Being scared of being pulled and stuck again.
Mm-hmm. And as this happens, your badger friend comes out of the bushes. He's like, "Hey, rock buddy, what's going on?" And then he also feels it too. And he's like, his hair spikes up, like,
Oh shit! Okay.
and he's like, "What was that?"
Almost like dream.
Also, he's gonna say,
Delivery.
pointing at another direction. Like there's
Yeah.
there's a choice to make here.
Yeah. And he's just like, the badger looks at it, and he's like, "Huh, I can't read that." Anyway. 'Cause why would he? Why would he read common? He can speak animal to you.
So even if I understood the runes because I heard them, can I read?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, all right. So
At the very least, you can read common.
I would just tell the badger what it says.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Really? To Catharsis, huh?" I guess that makes sense that they'd want to tell the king about that weird monster we saw. Huh.
Maybe more.
Of them.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, a deer actually comes out of the woods a little bit. You've never named this deer, so it's just a deer, but it's looking at you guys like, like a deer caught in headlights, kind of, because they ran out of the woods and then saw you. And the badger's like, he's cool.
Friend.
Okay, and the deer's like, huh, thank God. Or, thank one
Then
of
I
the
throw
gods.
a rock at it. No, just kidding.
And then I throw a rock. Fuck you, deer. Dinner.
Friend.
But at this point, you feel that wind pull one more time. And this time, the deer actually looks up, and you see the clouds moving fast, like in a weird way, going towards the south.
As an Arcana-based creature, do I feel something in me that just
A little bit. You're not
pulls
sure
me
what
to
it is.
go there?
Aside from
Yeah.
just the wind, you definitely feel some kind of energy, and you don't know why.
Can I roll anything to choose a priority? Because I have a mission, but maybe I feel like going there, like energy-wise.
That's actually a good question.
Like,
In this case, I'd say,
Is it strong enough to make me not do my mission? I mean,
yes, absolutely, I would say so, because this is unusual. Like, you've been through severe weather, you've been through weird weather occurrences. This doesn't feel right.
you know what? How big is the thingy I'm delivering?
The letter,
Yeah.
I'd say it's about the size of like a very large piece of paper that
Okay.
they folded up. It's folded up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look at the badger, and I don't have any rope or whatever. I want to put
Wait,
the little letter on the badger.
you have rope because they tied it around you.
Cool. I'm gonna try to. Well, I'm gonna ask the badger if I can. In what words?
You deliver this.
And I'm gonna put it on the badger, and see if they're okay with that.
And he kind of like shuffles a little bit to get it in position better. He's like, yeah, I can do that.
You got this? Okay, cool.
You catharsis. Me dream.
And the badger's like, dream.
Stuck. Going.
And as you start to step forward and the badger gets ready to run off, you see red lightning shoot from the south towards you and all cascading across the sky.
Yeah, I made the right decision. He starts walking.
The clouds begin to swirl around the mountains of Travaheim. And as that lightning cascades through the sky, you actually follow it with your eyes a little bit to see how far it went. And you lost sight of it, but you were still able to see that it went all the way, like as far as your eye can possibly see.
Direction. Now.
As you
I
look
wave
back,
at the badger.
the badger goes, okay, and then runs off. And as you look back towards the mountains of Travaheim, where the swirl was happening, you see a large red beam shoot into the sky. And
Danger.
you don't know what's going on, but you
Feels
feel like
bad.
the very nature of everything around you has just changed.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we will end our session.
Yeah, let's go. Like that.
Yours was a little shorter because you killed that bear really goddamn fast.
I was almost dead very fast too with that strange creature.
If you hadn't, so I'm going to tell you something. If you hadn't run, you were going to have to find 4 more of those.
That's what I gathered. I was like, if there's more of that and it almost killed me, I cannot stay. So, okay, what if I died?
In this case, because continuity requires you to still be alive, you would have been just knocked unconscious.
Okay, well, I'm still happy with my decision.
And that is not something that's going to happen very often, but only because we haven't even started the campaign.
Right.
I don't want to kill someone who has continuity established. In your case, I've already established it with Rob. You know what I mean? So you have, by that definition, you kind of got to be there.
I gotta be. It says in the lore, in the story,
lore,
I'm there.
yep.
I'm still glad with my decision because it makes more sense now that I'm still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. That was very fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone. I anticipated the time to be anywhere between an hour and 2 for each one shot, depending on how long combats take. And in your case, because you're very one-worded,
Not too many dialogues. No,
not too many dialogues. No.
No. Which is fine. That's how I wanted. So.
And also, I think in this case, it'll work better when it's working with the other players too.
Oh yeah, I will
So-
add a little bit, and that's it.
All right. I'm gonna stop the recording right there then.